Hey, Sharon.
Hey, Katie.
Guess what?
What? Chicken butt?
No, but we do have, some listeners these days. More.
Yeah.
We're growing in popularity.
That's awesome.
That's how we fucking roll.
That's right.
But so I was thinking this thing, because, that means that we're using more bandwidth and stuff on our, host site. And then, we actually have to pay for shit now.
Whoa.
So I was thinking that some of our listeners, or even maybe some people our listeners know, might want to, sponsor us.
Ooh.
We could do in this little weird spot right here where people are wondering why the hell we're talking before the music has even started.
Yeah.
It could be your commercial.
There you go.
And Sharon and I would be talking like this and going, hey, guess what? This product is fucking awesome and you should totes use it.
That's right.
That would be rad, wouldn't it?
It'd be sweet.
So, yeah, I'm going to put some details on our blog. I'm actually going to make a tab about it on our blog so that people can go there and read it. So go to twoartsygals.wordpress.com and look on the sponsorship opportunities tab, and you can find out how awesome it'll be, because it'll be super affordable. You'll feel like you're stealing from us, I swear. Check it out.
Unicorns and glitter and taxidermy critters are just some of the things they like. They also enjoy 80s hair bands, Grizzly Adams and John Goodman, so if you think that's weird, then you can take a hike. But the things they enjoy the most are making art and cracking jokes, so without further ado, here are your hosts. You've got your two artsy gals, your two artsy gals. Here are your two artsy gals.
Hey, everybody. This is Two Artsy Gals, and I am Katie.
And this is Sharon.
I tried to change up our intro.
You really wanted to change it up? Why are we changing it up?
I don't know. I just couldn't do it. It makes my head scream, fuck, what are you doing?
People might not know who we are if we don't keep it consistent.
Are you making fun of me? I'm gonna fucking cut you, man. No.
You can't cut me from 4 hours away, bitch.
I can cut you with my eyes through Skype. Pew, pew, pew. Oh, wait, those were lasers, not knives. I have laser knives coming out of my eyes. Hey, so this is Two Artsy Gals, by the way, and I'm Katie, and this is Sharon, and I don't know what the fuck is happening right now. We're out of our minds tonight. We've both had, this crazy cookie experience today. I think we're just on a sugar high.
Oh.
Or something. Some kind of high. I don't know. I'm so full of food, and I'm on this, I'm getting ready to go on vacation, so I'm on this pre-vacation anxiety crazy pants thing that I've been doing.
Crazy pants.
It, from now until I leave, I will be making lists and lists of my lists. And I still won't be satisfied until we get there and I unpack and I know that we have everything, so.
They have mercantiles in Mexico. So if, you forget your toothbrush, you can buy one. Yeah,
but you know what? You can buy a goddamn piece of wall or art for $3 American down there, and it's $15 American for a goddamn toothbrush.
You just use your husband's.
Ew, no! No! Look, I'll put his wiener in my mouth, but I am not using his fucking toothbrush. I do not share toothbrushes.
It is kind of nasty.
Blah, 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 blah.
Well, what are we talking about?
We are not talking about toothbrushes, Mexico, or blowjobs. So, we're talking about felting today.
Awesome.
And, actually, I am very curious to know about it because I get confused, what's the difference between needle felting and wet felting, and what the fuck is felting, and how the fuck do I make those cool little mushroom things that I saw your friend Natasha make one time that she was selling, and that kind, and I just want to know. I don't know about felting.
Well, felting's super awesome, and it's pretty inexpensive to get into.
I needed to hear that.
Okay, it's super expensive, it's gonna break the bank. No, it's
you can't take it back.
So, yeah, funny story. You could actually just buy some llamas like I did and spend $1,000 and get a little bit of wool and then felt their stuff and then sell them. I mean, that's one way you could get felt, wool.
You know what?
But
I don't enjoy llamas enough to do that.
Or you could just go to the craft store.
Yeah. I don't think they'll spit on me at the craft store.
No, they won't. They won't flip you off either like llamas do. But, anyways, so there's needle felting.
Sidebar for a minute. I'm still upset that you got rid of your llamas before we got to put unicorn horns on them.
I know, and I'm sorry about that. But the one that would have looked best in the unicorn horn might have trampled us or bit us in hindsight.
Well, I
or
guess I'll let it go. I'd have spit right fucking back on it.
I know. But how do you feel about putting unicorn horns on ducks?
Well, I could go with that too.
Okay, I have some ducks that are really into it.
Okay. We'll do that.
They'd like it. Yeah, okay.
So someday expect pictures of ducks with unicorn horns, people. You heard it here first.
That's right.
But anyway, needle felting and wet felting. Tell me the difference.
Okay, so there's needle felting, which for both felting, you'll want to get what's called roving. And it's basically your combed out wool. And there's lots of different kinds of, there's several different kinds of wools you can get. And I don't know the difference between all of them, but there's like the Cotswold, which is a little bit more like what you think of like woolly and kind of not itchy, but like fuzzy.
Like
and
pubic hair?
No, not more like a cotton ball. And then there's other roving that's like more silky and smooth. So there's lots of...
So not like pubic hair.
All I can think of is this picture I saw today of this guy with a mullet and then like completely covered in back hair. Yeah. Butt cheddars. Anyways, so back to felting. Gotta stay focused here, Katie. Okay. So there's different kinds of roving, and that's the material that you use to felt.
So and that's just like just like raw wool then? Like it's not like spun into yarn or...
Right. It's just looks like big billowy cotton clouds, and you can get it in all different colors, or you can get it raw and it's not dyed. But it's the same thing that people use to spin yarn.
And you can buy that at like Joann's or...
I've seen it more at knitting shops.
Okay.
I haven't seen it at Joann's ever. So I would check at any of the knitting shops.
Like Northwest Wools in Multnomah Village for Portland people, I guess. Or
they have a ton of it, like lots of different colors. And sadly, oh my God, I was in Portland the other day and drove by Yarn Garden, not there.
I know. I'm pretty sad about that.
What happened?
I don't know, man.
Like block of yarn.
I know.
Anyways, I was really sad about that. I thought I'd better mention that because we talked about them in another episode.
Yeah, we did tell area people to go there, so.
But any of the knit shops, but Northwest Wools has a really nice selection. I would just call around to the different knit shops. I know that,
I guess we should say yarn stores specifically instead of knit stores.
Oh, yarn stores, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know one in North Portland, they have like kits. So anyways, you can get the roving. Let's say you go to Northwest Wools, and then the other thing that you'll need...
If you're in your own state, or city, just look up yarn stores.
Yeah, and Google it, and just ask for roving.
Yeah.
Because you want to do needle felting. And so, you use it for wet felting too, but then what you'll need are the needles. And the needles that you use, they come in different sizes. Usually you'll get a pack of 5, and then they have little barbs on them. So basically the idea is you take a ball of the roving, and you also have a big foam block that you put the roving on, and then you basically just stab. I'm making a stabbing motion over the roving over and over and over again. You can pile it up and you make your shapes. And so
is it like one needle,
tangling,
or is it more than one needle?
It's one needle, and so you're basically tangling those fibers with this needle that has barbs on it.
Okay.
And when you get flat wool or flat felt from the craft stores,
yes.
Just the flat. Okay, and sometimes you'll see the holes in it.
Yes.
So I think that's basically like they've needle felted that.
Okay, so you're making felt, basically. Like craft felt, kind of. But cooler because you made it, and it's probably thicker and more, like, less uniform looking and...
Right, but you're making it into shapes, too, because you make it three-dimensional. So you can build on itself. So you might start in your needle felting and you make a ball. And then you can kind of build on that and make your shapes.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, and there's tons of, like, just look it up on YouTube. So you can make three-dimensional stuff.
Because I always see what I always want to get. For some reason, I just never have money on me when I see them. But, like, I see a lot of cool little pin cushions that are felted. And they're just the coolest little vibrant colors and the cutest shapes. So you're saying that they've taken that's not sewn together or stuffed. They have felted that three-dimensional shape.
Maybe. I'd have to see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, the other cool thing that you can do is you can needle felt onto wool, if you had a wool sweater, or you wanted to make wool, like sometimes people do felted, like wool, you know, they'll shrink a sweater, cut out things and sew them into like a stuffed animal or something. And then you can needle felt that roving onto those little, onto the felted sweater art.
Well, and even I think, I don't know if you've seen my friend Judah's art dolls that he does, and he felts, I'll look up a link really quick and send it to you, because he makes these art dolls, and he felts different, just kind of a shape over the top of the doll's body, but it's really neat. Here,
cool. There's so many things that you can do with the, with felt. It's awesome.
It is. So, what's the difference between needle felting and wet felting? Like, what's wet felting all about? This is where I get confused. I don't understand what it's all about. So
wet felting is you take the same material, the roving, but you'll make a template. Let's say you want to make a hat, or maybe you want to make a placemat. Let's do that.
Okay.
That's easy. It's like a big round placemat, but you're not going to do it. You're going to do it 200% bigger than what you want that placemat to be.
Okay.
And so you'd make a template. So you make a big round template, let's say, and you take the roving and you pull it off in little pieces. So you lay the fibers all one way on that template, and then you lay another layer of them on top of that the other way.
Okay.
And then you do that about 4 times. You can do it more. And then you wet it. It's pretty messy. And you get soap and water, and you just lightly start going, really lightly start going over, rubbing your hands over that felt, that roving. And it starts to sort of felt together. And as it starts to all stick together, you can start to rub it harder and harder. And it shrinks with the action of your hands and the rubbing.
Oh. So it shrinks because it's kind of all pulling together and getting woven together, so it kind of pulls into itself.
And you kind of start with the warm water, I think, and then it's been a while since I've done it, and then you can do like a colder water, so it's not shrinking as much.
Huh.
But you can do hats, you can do all sorts of stuff.
So,
yeah.
I've seen when people do knitting, and they call it felting, like when you wash a hat after you've knitted it.
It's the same idea, because you're rubbing all those fibers together and shrinking it up with
so it's the same
felting.
kind of thing. It's just...
It's different because you've knitted that, and then so that's another type of felting. If you use the 100% wool. Yeah, because then you're washing it, drying it.
Gotcha.
And it's the same thing with like the, like when you shrink the sweaters.
Okay.
And you use that to make new things, then you've made that felted stuff. You got this tiny sweater now, but maybe you cut out a shape and sew a hat, or make a scarf or whatever out of it.
So what tools do you need for both? Like for both, for needle felting and then for wet felting. Well, for wet felting, it sounds like you really don't need anything other than the materials and your hands and water. Is that correct? And soap.
Yeah, sometimes a mold is nice, or you're going to need to make some sort of template. And I used to use plastic to make my templates, so like a heavier, like a visqueen kind of like plastic.
So, and then what do you need for needle felting? Sounds a little bit more involved. So
yeah, so you'd want to get your needle kit, and those are like, they're not very expensive. They're like $5 to $10, I think.
Okay.
And then you want to get your foam block. So something that you're stabbing into.
Okay. Now, can it be any kind of foam, or do you buy foam specifically made for that?
You can buy foam. They have the foam blocks, but I just had a big thick piece of foam around the house, and that's
Are you talking? So you're talking like foam, like cushion foam, like that would be
cushion foam.
Okay.
Yeah, not styrofoam.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I had that right, because I was envisioning styrofoam, but then I started thinking, no, wait, that would be messy. That would make the foam fall apart.
Yeah.
So it's just the foam and just the needle, then. That's it, right?
Yeah. And the roving.
And the roving, yeah. And then roving is the only material that you need.
Right. And then the other thing is, I mean, once you're done, you can always embellish them with beads or what have you.
That's really awesome. You know, my friend Becky, she got, I think you have this book too. Her mother-in-law bought her a book about felting with your cat's hair.
Yes, I have that.
And she has little projects that now she bought squares of felt from the craft store and then was going to felt her cat's hair into the felt.
Uh-huh.
So that sounds awesome. I kind of want to do that. My cat doesn't shed that much though. My old cat would have been good for that.
Yeah, she would have been good and
yeah,
I had a friend that wanted me to collect
hair.
Yeah, to collect my old cat's hair too.
Oh, Clarence.
Uh-huh.
Clarence's big fluffy white hair would have been awesome with that too.
Uh-huh.
For sure. Yeah, so can you felt with, I guess if we're talking cat hair, can you use other kinds of other materials? It doesn't just have to be wool then.
No, but I think,
I mean, I guess
I haven't really tried anything else. I mean, I've done llama wool.
Okay, so.
And then just the roving that I bought at the store. Apparently cat hair.
Cat hair, yes.
Rabbit Angora would, like Angora rabbit hair probably work.
I just want to get an Angora rabbit so I can rub my face on it all the time.
I know. You know what? And there was this woman at the fair that was literally going from rabbit, like doing a sheep to shawl, but it was rabbit to shawl, and she had the rabbit in her lap, and she was just like, because you can just pull their hair off really easily,
Seriously?
like lightly. And it was just going right onto her spinning wheel. And she just had little bunny sitting in her lap.
And it was just like chilling, like, yep. All right, we're making some yarn from my hair, and I'm just going to sit here in your lap.
Uh-huh. Yep, exactly. It was awesome.
Did she get it stoned first?
No, they're pretty docile.
Are they really?
Like, Angoras are really docile.
I was going to say, the rabbit I had when I was a kid was anything but.
There's some breeds that are really spastic, and then there's other breeds that are totally chill.
I changed my rabbit's name from something dumb that a 10-year-old would name their rabbit to Houdini, because he could get out of his cage no matter what I fucking did. It didn't matter. I put a fucking cinder block on top of that bitch, and he got out of his cage.
Wow.
I won him.
What kind of rabbit was he?
I don't remember because it was so long ago, and I actually won him at a 4-H meet.
Oh.
And I won a drawing, and he was a pretty big rabbit, but it was black and white, just had normal ears. It wasn't like the floppy loppy ears or anything like that. He was nice, but he just escaped from his cage, and he would go down, because I grew up in a really small town, so, it's not weird that my rabbit would go 3 blocks down and get into this mean old lady's garden.
Right.
And she came back. This is one of the biggest traumas of my childhood, seriously. She knocked on my door and told me and my mother that she killed my rabbit and was eating it for stew because it had been in her garden all summer. I didn't know.
You tell me that story.
She was so mean. I cried and cried. Plus, that rabbit, I'm not lying, is the only thing I've ever won in my life.
You know what's going to happen?
I'm going to win the lottery.
Maybe we should say that. I don't want to put bad karma on that lady, but that's some bad
she
karma.
She died a
had.
long fucking time ago.
Well, she probably came back as a carrot and got eaten by a rabbit.
I hope so. She was mean.
It's terrible.
So, but maybe I can talk Kurt into getting me an Angora rabbit.
Yeah, they're super cute.
I don't think my cat would like that very much, though.
Oh, they're so cute. I love bunnies.
Me too. So, anyway, back to felting.
Yeah, should we share some artists?
Yes.
Or did you have questions?
I guess I'm just going to have to sit down and actually do it. Mm-hmm. To learn. But yeah, I think if we give our listeners examples, some artists and some examples, then they'll be able to see what we're talking about.
You know, the other thing is sometimes you can just, if you look on Pinterest and type in needle felt, that would be a good way to find some needle felt artists.
So you talk about your artist first.
Well, I have one, and she is a multimedia artist, and she's one of my favorite people in the world because she's a personal friend, and she does incredible, totally out of the box thinking on her stuff. She's been a fiber artist forever, and she used to do big wall pieces. Her name's Lisa Kaiser. And she used to do big wall pieces, and now she does more sculptures. And so she creates these little felted creatures, and she'll make their little clothes, but she adds branches and all sorts of different found objects. And then, after she's done, she dips them all in wax.
Oh, wow.
So kind of have this ghostly things over them, and her creatures they're incredible because they also... Did you just look her up?
Oh my god, they are so amazing.
They're totally amazing. And then her drawings...
Have I met her before?
Just like her sculptures.
This is awesome. Have I met her? Because she looks really familiar to me, actually.
You probably have.
Yeah. Like these... It's Kaser, right? You guys, I'll put some links to this in our blog because these... Oh my god, they're just amazing. Oh, I need to have one.
Yeah, they're totally... And I'm fortunate enough because I worked with her for a long time when I worked at the gallery, and so I have a few of her pieces. One of my pieces sadly didn't make it through our move, but I have a couple other pieces, and they're incredible. She just does incredible stuff. And then if you look at her drawings, they look just like her.
They do. They're incredible.
Yeah, her sculptures, and her illustrations are like layered collages. So she draws all these little critters, then she cuts them out and like arranges them, and she'll like paint a background, but then paste down the character. She was on Oregon Art Beat last year or the year before.
Oh, that's really cool.
And she's just one of the neatest people.
These are super incredible. I'm gonna link to her website for sure because her sculptures they're amazing.
Aren't
and
they?
It looks like she has an Etsy store.
Yeah, she does.
So I'll link to that also because they're pretty freaking cool. Like these are great.
Yeah.
Add that to my Christmas list for sure.
Yeah.
And my brain is still just like not wrapping around how do you get from raw wool to that? It's really with a needle. Like my brain's going, no, that seems like that's insane. So
I think hers are wet felted.
Are they wet felted? Well, still, even the like raw stuff to these sculptures, they're just pretty freaking neat.
And like a lot of them she'll felt. Okay, I'm looking at one in particular, and it's called Marguerite Holds Fast to Her Dreams. And that's the other thing. Her titles are incredible. But so this little critter, she's got these little pants on. So she's sewn these little felt pants and these little shoes and this little boat. And then she's got all of her little critters have these little teeth. And a lot of times they're like seashells or little things she's found.
Actually, I haven't seen felting like this ever.
Yeah, her stuff. I have one of her giant wall pieces.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. And the other thing about this woman is she's incredibly generous. It's like huge, and it feels the same, and it's like I have no idea how she made such a huge piece, but she's really an incredible person.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to meet her again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that we've our paths have crossed at things that I've done or been to, maybe parties that you've had or...
Oh, yeah, probably. Or she used to have a little gallery downtown, and then we worked at the gallery together. And Mother Goose, we've been friends for years.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I maybe met her at, like, one of your birthday parties or something, like...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it may have.
Because I've definitely seen her face.
Yeah.
My friend Judah does the felting you'll see on the front of the dolls that are sewn together. All of that color work is felted.
Mm-hmm. Does he carve those faces?
I think that he makes those out of clay.
Oh, okay.
I think he makes them out of, I'm pretty sure he makes them out of clay, but he sculpts them. So, and then
so cool.
I know. I should be bugging him about felting too, but yeah. So those are and I'll put links to his page too, because so everyone can see them and see what we're talking about, but they're just really neat dolls.
Yeah, they're super cool.
And all of that texture he uses, it seems to me like the felting that he uses is, adds really textural elements to the work.
Yeah. I think his looks like it's wet felting, and he may do some needle felting on top of that wet felting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I should actually ask him. I should have asked him before we recorded this. I knew we were recording this episode all week, so...
Mm-hmm.
So I should have done that. But yeah, and he adds beads to them, too. If you scroll through, you can see some of them that have a lot of pretty intricate beadwork and stuff in them, too. So
yeah, they're awesome.
They're very beautiful. But yeah, and I'll look around, and like Sharon said, if you do a search on Pinterest for felting... needle felting in particular, because it seems to me that needle felting is a little bit more common than wet felting, but maybe I just don't know the difference between them.
I think needle felting is a little more common. I think just in at least like the, like the hobby kind of craft world.
Yeah.
If somebody's like, I'm going to just, because it's pretty easy and mobile to take around with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you can't take wet felting with you anywhere, right?
No, and it's a pretty long process. So it's almost like working with clay.
Yeah, I was just trying to think about that, like some of the cliche and like the other clays that are real fibrous that I use. That it feels like maybe it would be more akin to that when you're sculpting with it. So
yeah, for sure. But it's super fun. It's super versatile because you can use it. You don't just have to make a hat. Just like the two artists that we talked about, you can add so many different things to it,
Yeah, and I just did a quick search on my Pinterest app on my phone for needle felting, and some of the coolest crap is coming up. Like a lot of little animals, and like this, someone has needle felted this cat that looks like a real fucking cat. I'm not even lying to you.
Oh yeah, is it the orange white one?
No, it's a little tabby cat, and it looks like someone took a picture of a real cat.
Yeah, I know. Some of them you're like, whoa, wait a second.
Freaking my shit out.
I know. It's kind of crazy.
And there's a squirrel that looks like a real fucking squirrel, so...
I know.
This is out of control.
Yeah, so if you're not sure, just Pinterest that stuff.
I'm gonna have to do this. I feel an obsession coming on, Sharon.
Careful, because you're probably gonna stab yourself a whole bunch of times when you first start. Oh,
that's a given. I'm gonna stab the shit out of myself. But wait, maybe I need to get one of those cut-proof gloves that my friend Karen was telling me about.
Oh yeah, that would probably be a good idea.
We should talk about injuries. We always like to share our gory injuries. Have you injured yourself or stabbed yourself badly doing needle felting?
I've stabbed myself a few times, but I know my friend Natasha's stabbed the holy shit out of her fingers before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she does it, you do it to get the aggression out.
I'm just telling you right now, Sharon, I'm seeing, we're looking at Pinterest while we're doing this. This is so stupid.
I know.
But
totally
there's,
funny. There's needle felted.
There's one that's fucking freaking me out because there's an old lady with her children in her shoe. There was an old, that nursery rhyme. Okay, there's some freaky ass looking felted people, and I'm gonna have nightmares now.
I'm not seeing those. Did
Don't
you just
look.
put needle felting?
Yeah, I just said needle felting Pinterest, and I searched. It's a.
That's
I don't want to
funny.
say it out loud because I don't want to put anybody's work down. I've scrolled pretty far down though. It's upsetting. It's freaking me out. I've been having really bad nightmares this week anyway because I have recently been through a little bout of insomnia, so I'm taking melatonin again.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if you've ever taken melatonin, but it gives you fucked up dreams.
Oh, that's not cool. I do not need that after the dream I told you about the other night.
No, I know. And I told you I was going to talk about my fucking weird panic attack and resulting dream.
Oh, yeah.
I had the other
I
day.
know, I really wanted to. Oh my god. Damn it, I totally forgot to do it.
So, you forgot to do what?
Oh, tonight I was gonna, when you came up on
You
Skype,
were going to be
either,
so
like,
mean to me.
I was like, not gonna be there, or I was gonna be like, God, Katie, I can hear you, but I can't see you. Or just be like, Katie?
Oh my
Katie?
god, that would be so... Sharon is being so fucking mean to me right now. You don't even know. Like...
Do you want to tell the listeners what happened?
I am so wounded. So, I'm prone to weird anxiety sometimes. I'm not exactly the sanest person around, but sometimes when I get hangry, it gets really bad. And when I'm hangry and really upset, it gets really, really bad. So I had another mishap with TriMet and my Lyft bus last week, and they left without me because they went to the wrong fucking side of the building and went in on a different entrance and didn't fucking call my cell phone. And so, like, they left without me. They marked me down as a no-show and left without me. So I called like 40 minutes.
They marked you absent.
What?
They marked you absent.
They marked me absent, the motherfuckers. And so I call because my ride's like they give you a half an hour window, and I waited for 10 minutes after the end of the window, and I called, and the lady's like, oh, you're marked as a no-show. And I'm like, no, I'm not, I'm here. And she's like, so I argue with this lady, like, and I get a little, because at this point, like, my ride was supposed to be there to pick me up at 11:30. So now it's 10 after 12. I have not eaten since 8 a.m. when I had a bowl of fucking cereal before I left the house. And now I'm hungry. And I'm kind of getting to that dangerous point in hungry where I need food. So she says, well, to get it figured out, it was their fault. The guy didn't fucking do what he was supposed to do. Whatever. So they send me a new bus, but I have to wait for another half an hour before the bus will be there. And then I have a half an hour window in which it's going to show up. So when it gets close to the time that the bus is supposed to be there, I said, you know, I'm going the fuck outside and waiting because I don't want the motherfucker to think I'm not here. And by this time, I am so fucking hungry that I'm starting to feel a little bit insane. Like, I get that low blood sugar thing going where I'm like, I don't know. I get, like, my brain, like, I feel like if I shook my head, it would rattle when I'm that hungry. Like, it just does this weird shit to me. So I'm standing there, and the bus fucking comes, and I'm like, sweet, the bus is here! And I wave my hand, and he just keeps fucking driving. Like, he goes right past me. I am on the fucking corner, right there, by the fucking crosswalk, leaning against the building, lady with a cane, standing there. Okay, and I have tattoos and facial piercings and a pink stripe in my fucking hair. It's not like I don't fucking stand out. Also, I had fucking knee highs with a unicorn farting a rainbow up the side of them on. So, okay. He couldn't have missed me. So then I'm like, oh my god, he just fucking left me again. So I called TriMet back, and then the lady was a total fucking clam to me and made me cry. Because I was hungry, and I started kind of losing, you know, when you do that thing where you start speaking higher and higher pitch because you're getting ready to cry? And I'm like, look, it is after fucking 12:30. It's almost 1 o'clock. I am hungry. I have no fucking money with me. I can't buy lunch. I have no way to get home. I'm stuck down here, and I start freaking the fuck out to this woman on the phone. So then the bus fucking, she's like, oh, he'll be right there, blah, blah, blah. he drives by again. And he didn't acknowledge me. So at this point, I'm kind of nearing hysterical, and I start having a panic attack. And because I don't know how I'm going to get home. And I had this thought. I said out loud to myself, I'm like, it's like I'm a fucking ghost. And then my heart started racing, and I started panicking. I'm like, oh my God, what if I fucking died inside? And I didn't know it, and I just don't know it, and I'm a fucking ghost, and he can't see me because I'm a fucking ghost, and I've been ghost calling TriMet, and I'm just going through this thing in my head, and I started fucking hyperventilating, and then I'm like, no, if I can get people to react to me, then I'll know I'm not dead, and so I turn around and I start smiling at people, and it must have been like this really panicked, psychotic smile, because the first woman that I smiled at, walked away and stepped around me on the sidewalk and looked afraid. And then I smiled really big at the next person, and he just looked at me like, oh my God, what's wrong with this lady? And then kind of gave me this pity smile. And then the next person asked me if I was okay.
And you were like, yes!
I was like,
yes,
I don't care if they think I'm insane. I'm not dead. They responded to me. But then that night I got home and I had, like, when I went to bed and I took my melatonin, I had a fucking nightmare that I was dead and didn't know it. And I was a ghost, and I was trying to talk to everybody I knew, and everybody was walking past me and ignoring me because I was a ghost and I didn't know it. And it was awful. And I woke up having, like, the same, like, my heart was racing and I was, like, freaking out. So
did you punch your husband to make sure that he knew that you were alive or anything?
I totally should have. No, I woke up in the morning, and the reason I woke up is because my dog was, like, licking him on my face. I must have been doing something, like making a commotion.
Oh,
because he was laying beside me with his face on my pillow, like sticking his nose in my face, and he doesn't do that because he gets in trouble for it, so.
Right.
I know, I must have been, like, making some kind of weird noise or motion, but it was awful. And so Sharon was going to make fun of me when we got on here, apparently, about that, and pretend that she couldn't see or hear me. That's awful. What a horrible fucking friend you are.
Well, I totally forgot about it, and then when, like, it popped up, I was like, damn it, I think I was going to have a mask or something. I can't remember what it was. And then you told that story, I was like, oh yeah, now I remember what it was.
I guess that is payback for me putting the mannequin head in the Skype window.
Not cool at all.
That freaked you out. It's funny. So yeah, we've learned a little bit about felting, and I think I definitely want to try it. And you guys, seriously, if you never go look at our blog links, go look at these, because you're going to want to see the art that these people are doing, the fiber art that's, like, you know what? It's going to make me sad that I can't afford to go to Northwest College of whatever it is, arts and crafts, and get my master's degree in fiber art, because that's what I wanted to do, but I can't fucking do it. So I'm going to be really angry that I can't go get a master's degree in fiber art because I'm poor. But if I win the fucking lottery, I will have a master's degree in fiber art. So
nice.
Just saying.
We can go together.
Totally. If I win the lottery, I'll pay your tuition.
Sweet.
We can go, and we'll be just awesome there all the time. They'll name the school after us because we'll be so awesome.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we don't have any listener mail this week again. So, people, come on. Send us some listener mail. But also, just wanted to remind you guys that you can now become a sponsor of our show for insanely cheap prices. Like, insanely cheap. So, go check out the Become a Sponsor page on our blog if you are interested in that. And if you want to email us about anything, questions about this episode, comments about this episode, if you know of an awesome fiber artist that does needle or wet felting that you think that we should know about and our listeners should know about, please send us a link to their website and tell us about them. And you can do that by emailing us at 2artsygals@gmail.com. And you can check out the links to the artists we talked about today by going to our blog at 2artsygals.wordpress.com. That's it.
Wait.
Sweet. All right. Well,
Sweet.
Sweet. What is that voice we're doing? I don't know, that's weird. So anyway, until next time, go make some cool shit, yo. Right. Bye. What the fuck was that? I'm stopping now.